The second book of Kings, chapter 2. And it came to pass, when Jehovah would take up Elijah into the heavens by a whirlwind, that Elijah went with Elisha from Gilgal. And Elijah said to Elisha, Abide here, I pray thee, for Jehovah has sent me to Bethel. And Elisha said, As Jehovah liveth, and as thy soul liveth, I will not leave thee. So they went down to Bethel. And the sons of the prophets that were at Bethel came forth to Elisha, and said to him, Dost thou know that Jehovah will take away thy master from over thy head today? And he said, I also know it. Be silent. Verse 4. And Elijah said to him, Elisha, abide here, I pray thee, for Jehovah has sent me to Jericho. And he said, As Jehovah liveth, and as thy soul liveth, I will not leave thee. And they came to Jericho. And the sons of the prophets that were at Jericho drew near to Elisha, and said to him, Dost thou know that Jehovah will take away thy master from over thy head today? And he said, I also know it. Be silent. Verse 6. And Elijah said to him, Abide here, I pray thee, for Jehovah has sent me to the Jordan. And he said, As Jehovah liveth, and as thy soul liveth, I will not leave thee. And they two went on. And 50 men of the sons of the prophets went and stood opposite afar off, and they too stood by the Jordan. And Elijah took his mantle and wrapped it together, and smote the waters, and they were divided hither and thither, and they too went over on dry ground. Verse 9. And it came to pass, when they had gone over, that Elijah said to Elisha, Ask what I shall do for thee, before I am taken away from thee. And Elisha said, I pray thee, let a double portion of thy spirit be upon me. And he said, Thou hast asked a hard thing. If thou see me when I am taken from thee, it shall be so to thee. But if not, it shall not be so. And it came to pass, as they went on and talked, that behold, a chariot of fire and horses of fire, and they parted them both asunder. And Elijah went up by a whirlwind into the heavens. And Elisha saw it, and he cried, My father, the chariot of Israel and the horsemen thereof. And he saw him no more. Then he took hold of his own garments, and rent them in 2 pieces. And he took up the mantle of Elijah which fell from him, and went back and stood by the bank of the Jordan. And he took the mantle of Elijah which had fallen from him, and smote the waters, and said, Where is Jehovah, the God of Elijah? He also smote the waters, and they parted hither and thither, and Elisha went over. Verse 15. And the sons of the prophets who were at Jericho on the opposite side saw him, and they said, The spirit of Elijah rests on Elisha. And they came to meet him, and bowed themselves to the ground before him, and said to him, Behold now, there are with thy servants 50 valiant men. Let them go, we pray thee, and seek thy master, lest perhaps the spirit of Jehovah have taken him up, and cast him upon some mountain, or into some ravine. And he said, Ye shall not send. And they pressed him till he was ashamed. And he said, Send. They sent therefore 50 men, and they sought 3 days, but did not find him. And they came again to him, now he was staying at Jericho, and he said to them, Did I not say to you, Go not? Verse 19. And the men of the city said to Elisha, Behold now, the situation of the city is good, as my lord sees, but the water is bad, and the land is barren. And he said, Bring me a new cruse, and put salt in it. And they brought it to him. And he went forth to the source of the waters, and cast the salt in there, and said, Thus saith Jehovah, I have healed these waters, there shall not be from thence any more death or barrenness. And the waters were healed to this day, according to the saying of Elisha, which he spoke. Verse 23. And he went up from thence to Bethel. And as he went up by the way, there came forth little boys out of the city, and mocked him, and said to him, Go up, baldhead, go up, baldhead. And he turned back and looked on them, and cursed them in the name of Jehovah. And there came forth 2 she-bears out of the wood, and tore 42 children of them. And he went from thence to Mount Carmel, and from thence he returned to Samaria.